This is an island that belongs to us. It belongs to us as a clan, and we know we are losing it.
Ursula Rakova is losing the island that her ancestors have lived on for generations.
And having to move away basically breaks us. It feels that we are divided people.
They don't want to move, but they are desperate because the sea is eating away at their land and killing their crops. They are the people of the Carteret Islands in Papua New Guinea. Their tragedy is shared by many communities in the Pacific and beyond. So what actually happens when the populations, sometimes entire countries, start losing their land and their identities with it?
The only thing that I want is to save Kiribati. It's not just about being alive and have a place to stay. No, it's about a country and a people called Kiribati people. We will continue to fight until there is no breath in us.
And what about things like the traditions of the Carterets? Because it's pretty special there, isn't it? I mean, one of the things is the land is passed through the generations through the women, and the women are the chiefs. Have I got that right?
Yes, correct. In Tinputs, the customs are similar. We try to integrate into our clan systems, and when they have ceremonial activities, celebrations, I take part because now I feel part of the clan and I feel part of the family as well. And we are beginning to align our cultural activities also into the host community.
But your story that you own that island and that you inherited the land from your mother and your mother inherited the land from her mother, but you won't be able to pass it on to your daughter because it won't be there.
It won't be there, but I will still own the reef.
Oh, you'll still own it?
I will still own the reef, regardless of what happens. So, whether I move away from Guinea, even if the last coconut tree is there, I will still own the reef. I will still go to the reef and fish and come back.
Let's look at Fiji now, because on one island alone, Vanuatu, 3 villages are being torn apart by rising sea levels, but in different ways. Serena Rakambi is the Fiji director of Caritas, and he's just been there.
Windongloa is the village that was relocated 7 years ago, and since 1952, the old people in the village had started to see the changes in terms of the rise in sea level. In 2014, they were able to relocate. It took them several years. It wasn't easy for them to relocate because it's the place of their birth. Their ancestors' burial ground is there. For them, their umbilical cord is buried on the ground where they were born, which is very much significant in the culture. Our umbilical cord is connected to where we were born.
They've now had to go inland.
They have to go inland to about 2 kilometers.
So they would have had very much a lifestyle of fishing.
Yes.
They've gone from that to more of a farming lifestyle?
Yeah, they've moved from a fishing lifestyle to more of a farming lifestyle. They still go to the sea, but the women, the children and the men, they have to walk far to get to the sea.
But it is the story of Ngāwhiawhia Solomon community that is really complicated. They are descendants of slaves who were brought to the island in the early 1900s to farm the land.
So the Anglican Church bought a piece of land in this particular area, which was 3,000 acres of land. And the Anglican Church offered the land, not in a written agreement, but just offer of land for them to come and settle on. And then, due to the climate change and the issue of the rise in sea level, which the people of Kiribati are experiencing, the Kiribati government sought lands here in Fiji. And then the Anglican Church had to sell that piece of land to the Kiribati government. So these people, a population of 100 plus people, were given 300 acres of land to live on. But for them, since nothing is done on writing, there is no legal documents, no title or anything of that sort to confirm their security of land, they're in great confusion as where they will gonna move if so happen the government of Kiribati wishes to sell that land, or when they come and settle on that land, they have to move on. And they've been there for over 100 years now.
Wow.
But now their life is uncertain as to where they're going if something happens. They don't know, the leadership changes, the policy changes.
So their situation is not so much that they are facing sea level rise, which is threatening their village. It's about who owns the land that they're living on. So what sort of help can you give those people?
Right now, we are trying to negotiate with the Anglican Church, if possible, that they sign an agreement with the people that the 300 acres that they have been given will remain as theirs, no matter what happens, for them to have security over the land that they have been given.
So what's your impression from this trip that you've just done to these 3 different villages, Serena? What's your thinking about this whole issue of relocation and people under threat from climate change?
I think before any decision is made for people to relocate or bringing other people from outside to come in, proper consultation needs to be carried out. The consent of the people, especially people who have been living on those lands for years, and then they have to be relocated due to some government arrangements.
Responsibility to look after this land for the next generation. So the question I always raised when I was in the outer highland, in order to get them into our program, is who is the owner of this land? So they give me a lot of answers, but they are wrong. So the correct answer is who is the owner of this land is my next generation, or your next generation, future generation. That's the answer for that question. So why we plant? Just because of that. We want to maintain everything for the next generation, the owner of this land.